he says, you got it. I said, oh, okay. When does it shoot? He says, shoots tomorrow. Can you be in Sacramento for the 8 o'clock flight?
Hi, and welcome to the Storia podcast. I am Fabiano Altamura.
And I'm David Noronha. It's so good to have you on. And before we hop in, please remember to like, subscribe, follow. Give us that 5-star review. Brother, we're going to do a quick one today, kind of like our new Hollywood updates. We're going to hit 2 things. Mark Wahlberg.
Yeah.
Grey's Anatomy, and we'll get to Grey's in a minute. But you found, and this is on the heels of our whole conversation around Trilith, Atlanta, sound stages, then the follow-up episode, right, with AI and Sora and the pullback of Tyler Perry not building 20 stages. And then you hit me with this article the other day.
Yeah, I mean, Mark Wahlberg is set to build a $1.8 billion film studio. Yeah, 31-acre production studio on the west side of Las Vegas. It says the A-list actor fulfilled his wish with the approval plans of Howard Hughes Holdings and Sony Pictures Entertainment, which goes back to like Tyler Perry pulling out. For me, feels like the AI thing could be an excuse.
Yeah, and I can't remember if you knew what you're about to tell me when we actually recorded the episode or if that was follow-up afterwards. But after we dropped the episode about Sora, Tyler Perry getting to see like the back end of Sora, what it could do, then you kind of found out maybe some additional information.
I found some additional information out that I don't know if I can disclose fully from somebody in the industry, but I think it was probably, there's probably more underlying than just
more layers.
There's more layers to it than peel back the onion. There's probably more layers to it than just it being about AI.
Sometimes with you, I don't know if it's Tourette's or schizophrenia, but he'll slide into some voices again.
Onion.
What's the reference there, brother, for us Americans? Because I'm sure it's some kind of BBC Three.
Peeling back the onion is there are multiple layers. What you see on the surface, Is
this an original character or is this a reference?
Peel back the onion. It was from a TV show. I think it was an American guy who was talking about acting. He says, peel back the onion. Don't just read it for the surface. There's subtext. Peel it back. So I think there's more at play there, but it's just interesting that the person that I spoke to was like, filmmaking is a medium for humans.
Okay.
Right?
That's
I mean, AI can definitely do stuff, but it's not going to replace humans.
No, because I think in many ways we're trying to tell our own stories. I just don't know if we want the robots telling our stories.
No, and we talked about it last time. It's the soul that goes into it. Yeah. And I think if Mark Wahlberg and Sony are willing to put $1.8 billion into building, what did they say, like 10 sound stages on a 31-acre property, and that's going to include 10 buildings with 500,000 square feet of sound stages, offices, flex spaces, room to make props and equipment. I mean, that's just, and then another 100,000 square feet of surrounding shops and restaurants and offices to support the film industry. It feels like there's going to be another kind of mini Trilith. It doesn't talk about anything to do with residential, but, I think it will be.
Well, and listen, there's a matter of convenience too, because then when I get my salary from being a series regular, I can just go gamble it on the Strip. So
yes, I mean, that sounds very, very Christian of you to do that. And such great stewardship, bro.
I hate gambling personally, but I think it's interesting because I wonder too, there's a lot of proximity to Los Angeles there, which is interesting. I mean, you could actually be shooting and be home easily from Vegas if you're shooting a show, whereas Atlanta's a little bit rougher.
Atlanta is. I'd love to know what the to be fair, I should have probably done a bit more research on this, but what the tax credits are like in Nevada.
Well, I'm sure. I mean, it's got to be better than California.
Oh gosh, anything's better than California, right?
Yeah.
For that.
No, that's. I mean,
you have to apply for the tax credits, but still, then they're not guaranteed, are they?
LA, by the way, they're shooting a movie. One of the Mandalorian films, or the first Mandalorian film, I think it's called Mandalorian Grogu or something. I don't know. Anyways, in about a year or two. And I heard that it was one of a handful of films that LA is going to give a massive tax credit to. So I think they're scrambling to try to preserve as much production in town as they possibly can.
Well, I mean, if you've got, Marvel filmed in Atlanta, if they're going to try and keep all these big films from moving out of state, I mean, you're going to have to give some incentive.
Yeah. Well, I mean, when I was a kid, and I mean, when you were watching us, when you were watching Miami Vice from the UK, the very, very not sunny UK. Yeah. You're looking very tan and very muscular, sir. Everything was shot. Everything had a palm tree. All of the shows were shot there. They didn't even really try to pretend. I mean, they kind of tried to find some places in LA that didn't look like LA. But then obviously now that we're in the platinum age of TV, I think, all of that has gone out the window. I think it's fascinating, and I hope that it's reassuring. I hope that it means that human beings are alive and well.
I think it does. Stories. It must be. I mean, there's going to be some kind of hybrid. There's going to be. But I mean, we saw that with the dawn of the green screen, with the LEDs. I mean, something's going to happen. And I'm sure it will. I hope it's going to take our art to the next level. I hope it doesn't diminish human activity in art. And I don't think it can, because you can't take soul from art.
Listen, so we weren't planning on talking about this, but we have a little bit of time today because we will hit Grey's Anatomy here at the end. Just a small little announcement. But I just saw Killers of the Flower Moon.
Oh, did you enjoy it?
Over the weekend. Yeah, so it is 3.5 hours long.
Yeah, I mean, it's a Scorsese epic, isn't it?
It's a Scorsese epic. But here's the thing, and it's connected to what we're talking about. It was a beautifully, consummately human story. Like, I mean, if there were CG, maybe like in some of the bigger scenes and, the way that they augment cities and sets and all that stuff, that was fine. But man, at the heart of it, it was a brutally human story. Have you seen it?
I haven't seen it yet, no.
I mean, and it's obviously a quintessentially American story as well. I mean, I don't want to give too much away. I think it's well worth watching. My son, he's on an app called Redbox or something. I don't know. Anyway, you keep track of all the movies you've ever seen.
Okay.
And so the other day he wanted to see, like, he's becoming a little bit of a cinephile. Both of my sons are. And so he was listening.
Even night.
Oh my goodness! Would not sit for long. No,
less than a story.
Oh yeah, no.
20 seconds.
Then a TikTok, 30-second TikTok. Check this out, and he's gonna hate me for saying this, but no. He's gotten so much into film, and this is actually pretty super cool.
Wow.
He's watching French films, bro. French film.
Wow.
With subtitles, not TikTok subtitles.
Interesting.
Yeah, we actually watched. We watched a film that was I saw it in an art house when I was his age at like 19. There was one particular scene that I forgot that was in it. He showed me a film called Le Haine, which actually means the hate. It's a French 90s film, kind of cinema verite, like super real. It all takes place in 24 hours, all very handheld or whatever.
Is it like 24 with Kiefer Sutherland?
Yeah, kind of like in that. Like in that vibe.
Totally different genre, though.
Except there's no acting by Kiefer. But it was a brutal film, and I love that he loves it. It's like young male testosterone, just aggression and like just pissed at the world. And that film was good. And then we watched another one called Man Bites Dog, which is so French. It's a mockumentary.
Oh no! Wow.
About a French serial killer. That's a comedy.
And it's a film?
It is.
Oh wow!
Only the French could make a mockumentary. That's a dark comedy. Is it obviously a dark comedy? Because it's about, but there was one film in it that I had forgot, one scene in it that I was like, ooh, forgot that was in there.
Oh, you mean kind of like a saucy scene?
It was horrible. Yeah.
Oh, wow. Gosh.
Super horrible. And I was like, oh my gosh. So we fast forwarded through that. But yeah, he's gotten into movies. Anyways,
good.
Why I brought this up. So I apparently have seen every Scorsese film other than his student short films. And I didn't realize this, but just over the course of my life, I've just... apparently I love him more than I thought, but 3.5 hours. I thought Leonardo DiCaprio was phenomenal.
I mean, he's probably the best actor on the planet right now.
Absolutely. But bro, the cast, I mean, I'm talking all the way back to just people that even had just a few scenes. Were the acting was just so
awesome.
Real, so good. And the cinematography is so epic.
Yeah.
Anyway, so, all right, let's move on.
Yeah.
Human beings will be telling stories. Speaking of human beings telling stories, Shonda Rhimes. Ever heard of her?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. A lot of hit shows. Here are some of Shonda's shows. I had to look them up because they're not quite my cup of tea. Are you into Scandal? Have you ever watched Scandal?
I've watched a couple episodes, yeah.
I mean, Viola Davis.
Kerry Washington.
Yeah, right?
Kerry Washington?
Oh,
Scandal?
yeah, no, that's Kerry Washington. Yeah, no, Viola did the other show about the lawyer.
Oh, yeah,
Murder. Yeah, here
Murder,
we go. Yeah. So Scandal. I haven't really.
It's okay. I mean, it's fine.
It's kind of like a soap.
No, I wouldn't say it's a soap, but it's
Saucy.
Not that I recall from the episodes that I watched.
Yeah. No, but it's kind of salacious, right? I mean, she kind of likes to do steamy stuff.
Yeah, I don't recall it being that steamy.
No.
I watched 2 episodes.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So you didn't.
It was a soap and it lathered up nicely.
So check this out. She has Scandal, 7 seasons, Grey's Anatomy, and some of these numbers might even be updated now. It says 19 here, but I know for a fact that they're hitting their 20th season now. 20th season. Station 19, which I think was a spinoff of Grey's Anatomy, that's been on for 5 seasons. So the spinoff has already been on for 5. Private Practice was also a spinoff, early days of Grey's, and then she has, I can't, my eyes are not good.
She's making bank. She's like, Oprah
she's doing
Winfrey.
okay.
Yeah.
I'm not worried about Chandra's pension.
No.
She's doing all right. So here's the backstory with Grey's Anatomy. So I get a call from my manager a couple months back. You know some of this, so I'm kind of telling it for the benefit of our listeners. So I get a call, I get this audition, and it was like a 1 scene, but they said that it was going to be recurring. They said it was going to be recurring. I will need to be careful about. No, I guess it's already aired. So I audition. And it's for a dad who is, in case you haven't seen the episode, his son has gone through something very, very traumatic. So, you know, we have kids.
I do. We do.
Very, very easy. I start to, it's almost like sight reading this stuff. And I said to Lisa, let's just go. Let's just record. And so, you know, the tears were there. The emotion was there. And it actually required it. Sent it off. Get the call. It was a quick turnaround. It was shooting in like a few days after that. And so my manager, he says, "Hey, why haven't you picked up?" I said, "Well, I was working. I was at BCA, my day job, waiting tables at BCA." No. So he says, "You got it." I said, "Oh, okay. When does it shoot?" He says, "Shoots tomorrow. Can you be in Sacramento for the 8:00 flight?" I mean, I remember I shared this with you. And I said, "Howard, there's no way. It's 5:30. I haven't even packed. I haven't even gone in to tell my wife." He says, "Well, are you going to make it?" I said, "Yeah, I guess I'm driving to LA." He said, "You're driving to LA? How long is it going to take you?" I said, "It's going to probably take me 7-8 hours." You know, I said, "But yeah."
On a good day.
On a good day.
Yeah.
So I have a promise to my kids, which is that I wanted to take them on a set. None of my kids are actors. You have Bella, who's an actress. And so you guys have had the privilege of acting together, which is such a beautiful thing. So Zion and Knight, my 2 eldest, 20 and 18 years old, they got to come to set when we did some pickup scenes in Brooklyn, New York for Jack Ryan. Yeah. And so they got to meet, fans of The Office, they got to be on that. And I think we shared that during the Office episode. And so they got to meet John, they got to go on set. And Isaiah was very little, so he remembers that we bought him seats to Hamilton. That's actually what he remembers. Exactly. I don't think he really cared about Jack Ryan at all at the time. But I still had an outstanding promise that my wife reminded me. So when I came in and shared the good news that I got the gig, she said, "Hey, remember, you owe Isaiah a trip." Yeah. I said, "Oh, thank you, babe. Appreciate you reminding me of that." So I knocked on his door. He was playing Minecraft or, I don't know, Fortnite or something. And probably Fortnite. And I said, "Hey, man, you want to go to LA?" He's like, "When?" Only one earphone off, still playing, still shooting. I said, Now. He's like, "Okay." I was like, "Okay, wow, well, that's easy." Yeah, I was like, okay, that he seemed really not impressed or excited. So I pack. I tell my wife, we're now probably tracking to get there at 1 a.m. And 30 minutes later, he hasn't come out of his room yet. Now, I've learned with my teenagers, I want to give him some space. So I'm like, no, I'm going to assume that he's packing. I go in, he's still playing Fortnite. I said, "Dude, what are you doing?" He says, "Well, what do you mean?" I said, "We got to get to LA." He's like, "What time does the flight leave?" I said, "We're not flying.
We're driving." Oh my gosh. Yeah.
So he says, "Oh, okay." Boom. To his credit, he gets off, he packs, we hop in the car. Now, again, 7-8 hours. So now we're tracking 1-2 a.m. And I'm tired, bro, because we get up early.
Oh yeah.
You and I get up, we've shared our disciplines. We're up 4:35, 5:30 in the morning. And so it's already been a 12, 13 hour day. And now I'm going for a 7-hour drive. All right. And I can't do caffeine late at night. Yeah. Because I won't sleep. And I'm like, I got to get at least 4 or 5 hours. Here's the beautiful thing. For me, at the end of the day, it wasn't about the gig. It was just a few lines. I'll share a little bit about the onset stuff because it was fun, but it was about the drive with my son.
Oh, yeah.
Now, I want to pit stop. You actually had a beautiful trip that you took with your son, speaking of which, to Las Vegas.
Yes.
So you take this kind of stuff really seriously. Where did you guys go? What did you guys do?
I was on a missions trip we stayed in the Trump Hotel.
Nice.
We literally went down for 3 days because my son's a foodie.
Yes,
We went to Bouchon.
Well, he's more than a foodie. I mean, he's
a chef. Yeah, he's a chef.
Yeah,
but published author, chef. You know.
Yeah.
And we just had fun together, dude. You know what I mean? Anytime you can spend time with your family and maximize it, like for Claire's birthday, I
did. Share.
I rented a private jet, and 7 of us.
Come on.
My sister flew in from the UK, and Claire didn't know. And we took a private jet to the
daughter,
coast.
the boyfriend who'd never been on a flight. Can you imagine?
It was
so this guy, he's never been on a plane. He's never been on a plane, and his first flight is on a private jet,
and he got to sit in the cockpit with the pilot, and we had a blast.
Way to go, brother!
It was awesome. So did that, and then
but wait, funny. So how was your wife's experience on the private jet?
Well, we were sat at the back, and it was pretty rough, dude. Getting out of Reading in the storm, it was like this. But on the way back, it was fine, and we sat on there was a couch in the private jet, and we sat on the couch, and it was better.
Little champagne.
But on the way there, no, we didn't have any of that. I think she enjoyed it. On the way there, it was like a roller coaster.
I saw the one video that was so sweet because your wife's so sweet. She was on the thing. She was holding on to your hand for.
She was, right? Yes.
Yeah, she looked like she was interceding for the pilot.
She was interceding for the pilot. But up front, you can't feel it. But it's funny how towards the tail, you can really feel all the turbulence.
Like on those smaller planes, you don't think of this on a big.
You don't.
But
you don't.
It swivels.
Oh, my goodness.
Jackson Hole, Wyoming, I shot a thing and we flew in. I think I shared this once. It felt like the pilot of Lost. I mean, it's literally one aisle. It's a small jet.
Yeah.
Not as small as the one that you flew, but man, going into this thing. And it was a hard land, fast and hard, short runway.
Was it like a 4-seater prop?
No, it was bigger than that. It was probably like turbo, but I mean, honestly, it was only seating probably like 20 people. I mean, it was small.
Oh, so it was relatively small. It commercial?
It was commercial, but small. It was just like a hopper flight from somewhere else. Anyway, all right. So trips with family, super, super key, specifically with boys, right? You find like they open up over time and in kind of confined
spaces
where maybe they have to talk to you for a little bit.
Yeah. I need to keep you awake.
And I said, listen, man, I'm going to need your help because this is going to be rough.
Because he doesn't drive yet, does he?
No, he doesn't drive. I mean, he's learning and he's really, really good. He's really sweet. And he doesn't want to drive my stick. And so he kept me up. He actually talked to me for probably it's the longest conversation I've ever had with my son. So that alone was like worth the price of admission. Precious. And it was really sweet. Like, not to give away too much because I like to protect my boys, but he asked me like one really beautiful question. He said, how do you know you're in love for real?
Oh, that's a great question.
It was a really great question. He's like, everybody says you'll know when you know. He's like, I don't know what that means, Papa. What does that actually mean? And so I just shared my experience of the lightning bolt that was meeting my wife.
Yeah.
I felt like Pacino in The Godfather when he sees the Greek girl in the Apollonia and hits him like a lightning bolt. And so I just shared that with him. Anyway, we had a beautiful time. Here's the funny thing about boys. The thing he was most impressed by, that they drive you around on a golf court.
Yeah.
And that they feed you anything that you want all day long.
All day long, yeah.
They didn't let him on set because it was a closed set, so he didn't actually get to come on set.
So he was in your trailer?
He was on the lot with me.
Okay.
He got to go to my wardrobe fitting. He couldn't believe that literally.
Were you in Burbank?
Where was I? No, we were somewhere in a smaller studio actually where they used to shoot, speaking of soaps, General Hospital.
Okay.
I think, and one of the soaps, because I had gone there for an audition when I first arrived in LA. So there's like a hospital set that they utilize or whatever. I don't think it's where they were originally. I think they've moved there in subsequent seasons and they kind of reconstituted the set. He loved being driven around. He loved that the wardrobe crew like attend to you on hand and foot and they're tailoring suits. And bro, I was shooting that day. So I literally had my wardrobe fitting the morning that I shot.
And you got there at 2 a.m.?
Got there at 2 a.m.
And you're in wardrobe for 4?
The exit for the freeway for where our hotel was shut down. So at 2 a.m. I had to drive another 20 minutes.
Oh my God.
I was about to start crying, bro. Finally, I think I got 4 hours of sleep.
Oh, okay. Well,
yeah, it was rough. And then 15, you know who does not do good with 4 hours of sleep? 15 and 16-year-old.
Yeah.
Because he's like a bear cub. He's like a teenage, beautiful sloth.
And he's jacked as well.
Oh, he's yeah.
He's a beast.
And so, bro, he came to set, and he didn't care that he didn't get on set. I mean, he saw a little bit with Jack Ryan for a second, but no, what he loved was the fact that the PA would just knock on the thing, say, "Are you still hungry? You need anything to eat?"
Oh, you did that to Isaiah as well?
Oh, they did, bro. They were
that's
really,
so
really
sweet.
They felt so bad that they wouldn't allow him on set that they just kept feeding him. So he was happy.
He must have loved that.
Oh, he loved it. Are you kidding me?
So what did he do in your trailer? On the lot?
He's probably on social. He's probably on
great.
TikTok.
Okay. So he had fun. He had fun, right?
He slept. He took a nap. Then he loves La La Land, so I took him up to Griffith Park where they did the dancing flying scene. Mm-hmm. We also went to Universal.
Great.
That was amazing. I'd never done the cheesy tourist thing and just gotten on the tram and done the tram, but we did the tram.
Mm-hmm.
And then the Harry Potter world.
It's brilliant, isn't it?
Oh, dude, it was so brilliant.
So good.
My favorite was, I can't remember the Ollivanders, where they do the wand shop. It's actually probably the size of this, but it goes up about 2 or 3 stories of just books. And it's actually all up close, like stagecraft, bro. And magic and different things move in the room. And they have the 2 people that run it, probably do horrendous British accents, but they were convincing to me. And then they take you to a back room and somebody gets selected. And it was just really, and the flipping thing where you hop on the broom, that was all the virtual reality goggle stuff was just
that's awesome, insane, dude. What a precious time. How did you find it being on set with, on Grey's?
Yeah, I think whenever you can step on a set, and I mean, it's the longest running drama. I'll give you some quick facts here.
20 years, right? 20 seasons?
20 seasons. You're on a well-oiled machine. It was a 1-page scene, and I think we spent 4, 5, 6 hours on it. We shot it with multiple angles, cameras. They literally had a Technocrane, which is these programmable cranes that can actually telescope out. It can float to the side, all just for this one drift in as my wife and I get this horrendous traumatic noise. Then they pulled out a wall behind us to shoot the coverage on the guy. I mean, the amount of time that they spend on just a few pages was
how come
insane.
Why so long?
They just have it so dialed in, bro, that they can just keep the production value of it. It honestly, it wasn't necessary. They probably could have shot it out in 3 hours, but they were also super respectful of my wife and I because it was a kind of an emotional scene. And so the female director, was just absolutely brilliant. Her
Did
direction
you dry
was
up
great.
at all?
I was able to do it. I cry like a baby when I sleep less than 5 hours anyway. So that kind of
and throw caffeine into the mix, and then it's like, good Lord,
I'm a flipping mess.
Here come the waterworks.
All right, so here's some facts about Grey's Anatomy to take us out. The show is the longest running medical drama, surpassing ER, now in its 20th season. Shonda Rhimes, of course, created the show along with a couple of other dozen shows. The title is a play on words. Did you know that?
No.
Yeah, it's based on some kind of medical book. But then the little wink pun is that her last name is Grey as well.
Oh.
So Grey's Anatomy. Get it? She's also kind of sleeps with a guy in the pilot, thus the Grey's Anatomy. I'm joking.
Oh.
The show, she does sleep with the guy in the pilot. The show has an ensemble cast that we know. The cast actually goes through extensive medical training. So a lot of what they're doing. Yeah. Also read just briefly today, they actually use real organs, just not human.
Oh, you mean animal organs?
Animal organs. Animal organs.
And they say that Patrick Dempsey is my doppelganger.
That actually is listed here. ChatGPT listed this here.
Did it?
Right after the fact that Rob Lowe turned it down, it says that Derek Shepherd should have been played by you.
Played by me, yeah. I mean, it would certainly.
I mean, I often call you Mr. McDreamy.
Yeah. We have a similar bank balance, I think.
Yes.
Yeah, we totally do. Yeah.
Yes. Zeros of the wrong kind. Of the wrong side of the equation. Their soundtracks always kill. They always have a lot of pop tracks and stuff that they feature in here. And then the plane crash leads to the surviving doctors buying the hospital. This apparently has to do with the fact that after you get to about 20 seasons, there definitely needs to be a plane crash.
Gosh, do you think they're going to end it anytime soon?
I don't know.
Because it's a legacy drama, I guess. But is it after 20 seasons? You got to be saying, is it a soap?
Well, I mean, I think it kind of always
probably
was a high-end soap. I mean, it always dealt with the personal lives of, and it was always a little bit like, saucy, sexy, that kind of stuff. But man, with good writing or good craftsmanship, and it's a hospital, you get another tragedy.
Yeah, it's not like, it's got to be shorter than Days of Our Lives, surely.
No, yeah, a lot of the soaps have run
I was going to say they're like
for 30 years.
decades.
Yeah. And those things, so here's the one last tidbit. One of my gigs in New York was on actually one of the, I think it was either Days of Our Lives or General whichever the one was that shot. I never wanted to do a soap, but I needed the money.
They can't pay as well as
No, man, I made a few $100s that day.
Gosh. No, but I mean, even if you're a lead.
No, the leads do good money. But listen, let me tell you, that's actually the most brutal job in show business, bro, because they're actually doing full scripts every day.
Every day, yeah.
So they often will have teleprompters off.
Oh, yeah, because I mean, in the UK, they're releasing a soap 5 days a week.
Yep. That's
insane.
That's how the day soaps used to be here. You guys, I mean, it's an Australian one. What's the big famous?
There's Home and Away, and there's Neighbours. Yeah.
So many people have come off of Neighbours.
Oh, yeah. I mean, the guy from Mentalist, I think that may have been Home and Away.
Yeah.
I watched a film called Margin Call with him in it last night with Kevin Spacey and Stanley Tucci. It was about the kind of Lehman Brothers crash. But like he came off the Australian soap.
Yeah, it's I mean, Meg Ryan came off of a soap as well.
She did.
Robin Wright Penn did a soap as well. Yeah, I mean, you
Margot Robbie.
Yeah. I mean, it's like the mixture of theater and camera at the same time, brother, because I mean, cranking.
Oh, man.
You're cranking.
100%.
So Grey's Anatomy, season 20, and then Mr. Mark Wahlberg, he'd kill me if I said Marky Mark to him.
Marky Mark and Funky Bunch.
Building $1.8 billion studio in the desert. So what's the moral to this Storia gang? It's that humans are alive and well and telling stories about ourselves.
100%.
So rest assured tonight, thanks for hanging out with us on the Storia podcast, and we'll see you soon.
See you soon.